The Colorado real estate market is changing. The number of homes and condos on the market is up, but the number of them being sold is down. Our Business Buzz team took on the topic in the latest episode, which starts streaming tomorrow. Here's a clip.
The single biggest opportunity for buyers today that perhaps didn't exist 6 months ago?
Well, I don't know about 6 months ago, but one of my happier things for buyers are VA buyers and first-time home buyers, because those two sets of buyers really a couple of years ago hardly had a chance to get a home. And, I had a young woman ask me the other day, I'm in my 20s, how am I ever going to afford to buy a home? How am I ever going to get in? I mean, yes, affordability is another question, but at least we're seeing some opportunities for first-time buyers in VA and people who don't want to spend $100,000 over asking.
That is a conversation that I hear a lot of people my age talk about. The show's co-host, Ed Sealover, is here to talk all about it. Ed, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me in this morning.
So kind of piggybacking off of that, we talked about prices. Are things ever going to come down and be more affordable for people?
Well, as the segment mentions, yes, they are coming down just a little bit right now. And this is a huge topic. I mean, we at the Colorado Chamber hear all the time about employers saying, look, we can't recruit and retain our employees as well because we can't find housing for them. They don't want to move from another area where they have to pay so much more for housing out here. One of the biggest issues with housing is the supply of housing. And we've looked at studies that say we're about 125,000 units below where we need to be to house the population today. And that's only going to get worse if the home building is slow going forward. So we talk a lot about how do we get these units built? What's it going to take to get more of these coming onto the market? And once we get more onto the market, that's really going to be the thing where competition is going to drive down prices. We're seeing this in apartments already. Kind of there's more being built out. Apartment rents are slowing down. We're waiting to see that with single family homes still, though.
Yeah, so what do we do now with the smaller number of new homes being built? Like, where do we go now?
Well, we have to look at why there are a smaller number of new homes being built right now. You hear a lot about regulations, for example. The state board recently passed a number of regulations that's going to require more energy efficiency measures in new homes. Well, that's great down the road. That's going to cut your heating bills, for example, but it's going to drive up the entry-level cost of the homes. And I think we need more of a conversation about why is it that our home prices are up and why is it that it's so slow to get on the market right now? How do we improve that? The state, and we've talked about this before, has pushed a law right now that's trying to get more density around transit-oriented towns in particular. Some cities are fighting back on that, but that's one step that we've seen that's being taken to try to get more homes out there.
And Ed, BizBuzz always talks about so many topics on these episodes. What else did you guys touch on here?
Well, our second topic this week is going to be minimum wage and tip credit. Right now, state law determines how much you have to pay an employee, what the minimum wage level is, but there's a $3.02 tip credit where those workers, particularly servers and bartenders, can get that much less per hour than the minimum wage, with the idea that they're going to make it up in tips. And the fact is, they make it way up in tips. The state legislature this year passed a law saying cities and counties, if they are paying more than the state minimum wage, these are places like Denver and Boulder, can actually extend that tip credit, make it a little larger, kind of keep the tip credit down as they grow their minimum wage. And what we talk about is there are several cities looking at minimum wages now and minimum wage increases, and will they actually consider this new law and say, okay, we're going to raise the wages for everyone except for the tipped servers, and will that help restaurants who are struggling with costs right now?
Yeah, definitely. Ed, always so compelling, so interesting. Thank you so much for breaking it down. And if you want to learn more about it, you can catch this newest episode starting at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Ed, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Lauren.